CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a warning from London police reporting a surge in overdoses downtown. Police say the call started coming in shortly after 11 a.m., continuing throughout the day. No fatal overdoses have been reported. According to police, a suspect was driving around giving away a substance for free. They have not provided an exact number of victims, but say several people ingested the substance and then required medical care.
We are concerned about the substances that are being put out on the streets, and thus we want to inform the public to make them aware of our concerns.
There are widespread flood warnings in our region tonight as heavy rain and snowmelt combine to overwhelm waterways. As Sean Irvin reports, authorities are implementing flood mitigation measures with more rain on the way.
Water flows through Fanshawe Dam in London. These flood control doors were just opened to ease pressure after levels on Fanshawe Lake rose dramatically by 7 meters or 22 feet in just a few days. If the dam wasn't here, a lot more water would be flowing towards London.
So with the operation of this dam, we were actually able to prevent or reduce the flows going into London by 45%.
However, with more rain expected, the Upper Thames River Conservation Authority and a long list of other watersheds to the north of the city have issued alerts. They range from advisories to watches and warnings. The situation is difficult enough in some places that roads and highways are washed out, including a section of Highway 21 from just north of Godrich to Amberley.
And it's the amount of rain that came down within a short period of time combined with that snow melt. So the ground was already saturated. And when you have that, you just have the water run off much quicker.
The runoff will be sped up by more rain and a sudden return of colder temperatures, helping to keep the ground frozen. Another concern is the speed of waterways. Bottom line, if you or your pets get too close to them, it doesn't take long for things to turn dangerous. In many spots, rivers are raging. It's why Chris Reed keeps a close hold of his dog, Molly.
I keep her short on the leash here so she can't get too far away from me.
While the water must go somewhere, a lot of debris on the Thames River is now collected above the dam before it heads downstream, thanks to a newly installed barrier.
And what will happen is some of it will submerge, some of it will just go to the shoreline, but most of it won't go over the dam.
However, some flooding and temperature fluctuations will continue to occur, even though we're all hoping for a stable change in the weather.
Oh, God, that's enough, right? Just turn it off, please.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Nearly 500 elementary and high school students across Lambton County and Chatham-Kent have been suspended from school. School board officials say it's because their families failed to provide up-to-date immunization records by Tuesday's deadline. With more, here's Brian Bicknell.
A public health measure to keep children from contracting or spreading dangerous diseases. But not all families are getting their children immunized, an issue that causes both concern and disagreement.
I have a nephew who's actually immunocompromised, and I would prefer him to be safe when he goes to school.
I agree vaccinations are required, but I don't also think people should have the option on whether to do it or not.
We need them in order to, lessen the impact of different diseases that are communicable, that are, prevalent in schools, in the community.
Parents are required under provincial law to report immunizations or valid exemptions for tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis or whooping cough, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, meningococcal, and varicella or chickenpox.
People that cannot be protected against the illness because they can't get vaccinated would be very vulnerable. So we want to ensure that those people are protected as well.
The new data follows last year's resurgence of measles across the country, a disease that had essentially been wiped out in Canada. According to the federal government health and info base, in 2025, there were more than 5,000 reported cases of measles in Canada. So why so many children without up-to-date immunizations? Health officials cite a number of factors, including busy lifestyles, religious beliefs, and vaccine hesitancy.
Let the kids go, learn, need to do what they need to do, and just let's hope that the parents could actually make, a good decision for their kids.
School boards say they're working closely with health units to meet immunization requirements and with families to help support compliance. In Sarnia, Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Thousands of high school students across the province walked out of class today protesting the provincial government's changes to post-secondary student assistance. As Scott Miller reports, for some, that means reevaluating their college or university options.
Grade 11 student Tobias Harrison was counting on OSAP grants to help him pay for his post-secondary school aspirations. But drastic changes to Ontario's student grant program have left him and others speechless.
It was absolutely devastating when I found out. I have no idea what to do now.
On a rain-soaked day, Harrison was joined by about 50 of his fellow high school students in Hanover and by thousands more across Ontario for a province-wide walkout to protest changes to the Ontario Student Assistance Program. Currently, up to 85% of the financial aid students receive through OSAP can come in the form of provincial grants that don't need to be repaid. Under the proposed changes, only 25% of OSAP funding would now come from grants, with the rest provided as loans that students would have to pay back.
Education's already so expensive. We need to have a way to get through school. I know many people who have said that they aren't going to go to school now if this stays in place.
The provincial government has defended the OSAP changes, saying it is the only way to make the program sustainable.
If there were such a problem with OSAP, we should make something new, not make cuts and just harm other people.
I didn't grow up in a rich family. I don't have a lot of money to my name. I have to work for every single penny I have. And I've always known growing up that my only chance of post-secondary education is grants through the Ontario government. And now that Ford has slashed those down, I don't think I'm going to have a chance to go to post-secondary school, which means my job choices are slashed down. Like, I don't have a lot of prospects for my future anymore thanks to Doug Ford.
I've heard people say, oh, that's the way she goes, nobody cares about this, other than a few people. Like, well, they could just go ahead and cut something that you need, or they could cut funding to public schools. No more like auto shops, transportation, no more manufacturing, because they don't have the funding to do that anymore.
In Hanover, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Provincial government officials say elementary school teachers won't have to pay out of pocket anymore for classroom supplies, and they'll soon have access to an annual spending account. However, critics say these decisions fail to address broader underfunding across the education sector. Siobhan Morris reports.
You can't make a masterpiece without them. Paintbrushes, paints, and paper too.
And that's a dock?
Ontario is putting up $66 million of new funding to make sure they get into little hands.
The days of teachers having to, put their hands in their own pockets to pay for school supplies, those days are done.
The Premier unveiling a plan to give elementary teachers $750 this fall to stock up their classrooms.
I'm just so proud. I think this is the greatest thing I think we've ever done for public education.
So here's how it works. This card helps teachers get connected to a website that will be set up by late summer. From that site, they'll be able to order everything from markers to paper towels. Supply Ontario will be running it to maximize the buying power.
Opposition leaders say that portal won't be able to send what's actually needed.
There's no website that is going to get that young girl in school who needs an EA. They can't click on that.
This announcement does nothing to make class sizes smaller, to keep rural or northern schools open, to keep our students safe and supported in their classrooms.
While the union that speaks for public elementary teachers appreciates the help,
the government is trying to make us believe that this is a gift that's being given prior to what is going to be probably a very contentious round of central bargaining.
ETFO is part of a group of leaders appealing to the education minister as he considers the structure of school boards.
Mend it, don't end it, and include us in the discussions.
The minister says he hasn't presented cabinet with options, including what to do with trustees. Those elected officials have been sidelined in 8 boards already. Nominations for this fall's elections open May 1st.
We are seeing critical decisions in several of our boards happening behind closed doors via appointed supervisors without transparency.
Paul Calandra says boards under supervision won't get their control back
until they are on the right path. Like, full stop. If it takes us 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, I don't care.
But he doesn't see it happening anytime soon. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Days after CTV News showed the grisly conditions inside the Toll Puddle Housing Co-op, there are signs City Hall officials are softening their stance when it comes to releasing provincial funding. That money would be used for security and fire monitoring, but as Daryl Newcomb reports, a more sustainable solution may be needed.
If anybody in this room does not feel the urgency of this issue.
Frustration boiling over in council chambers as the board chair of the Toll Puddle Housing Cooperative urged members of the Community and Protective Services Committee to address a financial crisis. Last week, CTV News toured the troubled building that's home to low-income Londoners, families, the elderly, and disabled. But 15 units are severely damaged and vacant after individuals from London's housing waitlist were assigned rent-geared to income units never designed to support people with severe addiction or mental health conditions.
Council has done nothing to help those people but to try to house them. What resources do they have at Toll Puddle? They have zero.
This report shows Toll Puddle is approved for $91,600 of provincial funding to repair security and fire monitoring systems damaged by vandals. But according to Ward Councillor Susan Stevenson, city staff had told the co-op that to receive the funding, a construction lien for $77,000 would also have to be resolved.
It's those two, the fire and the security, which they desperately need, along with the payment of a construction lien that they are fighting, that they don't want paid. And what I was told was that it was a take it or leave it. It's all three or nothing.
There's something happening with the telephone game here between all the different pieces, but all the information that I have says that we're prepared to be able to provide the funding as soon as possible.
Deputy City Manager Scott Mathers said approval of the funding for security and fire monitoring systems would be separated from the lien.
We need a request, and then funding that we get from the province, there's requirements for an agreement to be signed.
As for the other conditions inside the building, a sign of progress with 3 fire inspector vehicles parked outside. Resolving the financial crisis underlying the other challenges faced by Toll Puddle will be the subject of a staff report next month.
Specific to the Toll Puddle building, what we heard was that staff are coming back with a report April 13th, which is the next CAP cycle, to provide us with more information.
Council will consider the committee's recommendations March 31st. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A London man was convicted today for causing a fatal high-speed crash which killed a woman almost 6 years ago. With more on the dangerous driving case, here's Nick Paparella.
67-year-old Joan Clubb was a passenger in a light brown Hyundai when a speeding black Mercedes-Benz crashed into her at Southdale and White Oak Roads in November of 2020. She would later die in hospital. Following a police investigation, officers charged 31-year-old Baha Ali. After a trial in the fall, Justice Barbara McFarland found Ali guilty of dangerous driving, causing Clubb's death. During the trial, Ali tried to convince the court that his brother was the one behind the wheel on the day in question, and that he lied to police to protect his younger sibling. But the judge wasn't buying it, saying, "I find Mr. Ali's explanation unbelievable and likely implausible. It is not reliable evidence." The court heard testimony that the Benz was traveling at speeds of up to 129 kilometers an hour in the 60 zone, with the judge saying Mr. Ali chose to operate his vehicle at an extreme rate of speed within a busy commercial area. She added, driving more than double the speed limit was a deliberate, reckless, and willful act, contrary to the standard of a reasonably prudent driver. Ali's legal woes will continue because since the conviction, the Crown is now seeking to revoke his bail after the court heard he also faces another charge of dangerous operation of a motor vehicle from another incident a year ago to the day. Meanwhile, the sentencing hearing for the dangerous driving conviction is set for April 24th. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Sarnia police say they've identified a third suspect wanted for a violent break and enter. Police say this is Donovan Joseph. They say Joseph, along with 2 other masked suspects, forced their way into a home Monday and stabbed a man in the leg. According to police, all 3 suspects are on the loose and members of the public should not approach them. Officials with a London fertility clinic say they've temporarily put some services on hold after what they're calling unexpected fertilization outcomes. Staff at the Omega Fertility Clinic on Commissioners only provided a media release today indicating the results in question were not consistent with typical laboratory outcomes without elaborating further. The statement says the issues were first detected in mid-January, leading officials to pause services while an independent lab conducts a facility audit. It also indicates no patients were exposed to any safety risks. Still ahead, redemption on the hardwood. An OFSA basketball championship clinched on home court. Canada's main stock index was weighed down by losses in the technology sector. The TSX fell 151 points. In New York, the Dow lost 289. The Nasdaq gained 19. The Canadian dollar dropped 1/10 cent today. On commodity markets, gold is down $63 an ounce. Oil up almost $4 a barrel. Iranian forces are targeting vessels in a key oil shipping route, shutting down tanker traffic and causing major disruptions to oil distribution. Joy Malvin reports.
New video from Central Command shows the U.S. blowing up Iranian vessels suspected of laying mines near the Strait of Hormuz. Tehran has effectively closed the shipping lane, attacking more than a dozen oil tankers trying to pass, choking off the world's lifeline for oil, and sending energy prices soaring, triggering the largest release of emergency reserves thanks to oil-rich nations.
Our countries will be making 400 million barrels of oil available. I repeat, 400 million barrels of oil.
Canada helping to offset global shortages too.
Canada will do its part to contribute to the world's supply. That will bring prices down for Canadians. That will keep prices affordable for Canadians.
With the U.S. and Israel targeting Iranian military sites and Iran retaliating with a new wave of missile and drone attacks, President Donald Trump telling reporters,
right now, they've lost their Navy, they've lost their Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all, they have no radar, their leaders are gone, and we could do a lot worse.
The president promising to hit harder, but also saying the war is pretty much over.
Which is it? Is the war ending soon, or are we on the brink of the worst fighting yet?
Mixed messaging from Washington isn't going over well. Key Trump supporters like Joe Rogan publicly criticizing the war as a betrayal.
He ran on no more wars and these stupid, senseless wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it.
With the new supreme leader, Iran insists it alone will decide the war's end, as the FBI now warns sympathizers or proxies could try to launch attacks on U.S. soil. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. The rain is slowly starting to taper off, but the winds are gusting and they are also shifting over Lake Huron. That means lake effect flurries overnight tonight into your Thursday morning. You can see one low pressure system is on its way out, and we do have a series of them. We are tracking the next one that will bring widespread snowfall for Friday morning. I'll walk you through the forecast coming up on the other side of this break.
Welcome back with Rita Ismail now on the desk. And as we saw earlier in the newscast, just the effect of the flooding, the risks that are involved right now, because right now we're into the spring showers time of the season.
Absolutely. And it's a transitional season, Carlyle, so we're not quite done with the winter season. We actually have a big temperature drop heading our way. But today, our story is that rainfall warnings throughout Midwestern Ontario, 60 to 90 millimeters. That's right. For parts of Grey Bruce and Huron and Perth, you saw that flooding. For us here, 40 millimeters, that was the number. We are expecting this rain to start to ease off as we head into the night. Our high for today, 15 degrees, well above what's normal for this time of year, which is 3 degrees. The record 17, almost got there, 1977. Record low minus 19 and 1959. As we head into the night, you can see the bulk of the moisture associated with this first low pressure system is starting to push out to the east. The temperatures are going to drop. The winds are going to pick up out of the northwest, gusting upwards of 40 to 60 kilometers per hour. And you guessed it, that means lake effect flurries overnight tonight into Thursday morning. And as the system moves out, another one will push through for Friday, that one bringing in snowfall. So some light flurry activity overnight tonight throughout Grey Bruce, Huron and Perth. There's a slight break in the cloud cover for us early tomorrow morning here in London. Mostly cloudy conditions though for Thursday with a chance for some scattered light flurries. Again, that's because the winds will be gusting tomorrow, and the wind chill, believe it or not, will have us feeling close to minus 10 for your Thursday. So big contrast in terms of our temperatures. Here's the next system. This is an Alberta Clipper. It'll push through Friday morning just in time for your morning commute. Widespread snowfall throughout London, heading towards Toronto along the 401 corridor. 7 a.m. until about noon before switching over to some mixed precipitation just in time for your afternoon commute on Friday. And that will cause a bit of a tricky commute if you are on the road. So Thursday, though, windy conditions out of the northwest, 40 to 60 kilometers per hour. Although our daytime high is expected to be 2 degrees, that's early in the morning. We will drop to minus 3, feeling like minus 10 by Thursday afternoon. And we'll hold on to that colder air mass heading into Friday morning. Minus 4, climbing to 4 degrees by the afternoon. As you saw on that forecast model, that means snow in the morning Friday, switching to rain in the afternoon. Saturday, mostly cloudy. We could be dealing with some more lake effect flurries Saturday, feeling like minus 8. And then heading into Sunday, we're in and out of mixed precipitation, both Sunday and Monday. That's because our overnight temperatures are below the freezing mark and our daytime highs are around 2 to 3 degrees. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, chance of flurries. We drop back down, minus 5, the daytime high. We're certainly in for a roller coaster ride in terms of our temperatures. Midwestern Ontario, similar conditions in store for you, although you are getting a little bit more rainfall, especially with the system that moved through today. We're expecting morning flurries, the probability higher throughout Grey Bruce, Huron and Perth. And then heading into Friday, minus 12 will be that real feel early in the morning as that snow system moves through. And then we'll switch over to some freezing rain by Friday afternoon. Snowfall and flurries in store for Saturday and Sunday. And then at the freezing mark on Monday, dropping back down to minus 5 on Tuesday. So Carlyle, if you thought we were through with winter, you got a little ahead of yourself. Don't pack that winter gear up yet. It is still officially winter until the 21st of March.
Thanks very much, Rita. A provincial championship was on the line earlier tonight for Mother Teresa's boys basketball team in the OFSA final. The Spartans capped off a championship-winning performance with a game-ending dunk. They beat A.Y. Jackson Secondary School from the Ottawa area 59-51. It was redemption for many on the Spartans squad after finishing as OFSA runners-up last year. Mother Teresa were the tournament hosts, welcoming 18 teams worth of visitors to the city for the multi-day event. With more on the off-the-court impact, here's Brent Lale.
OFSA is an economic boom.
400-odd athletes and coaches. Their families are coming into town. So we're staying at 4 different hotels, the restaurants near those hotels. So I think the impact is pretty substantial.
London is hosting the provincial championships for the first time since 2011 when NBA star Andrew Wiggins was here. Teams have come from all over, including Adam Scott from Peterborough.
Really nice to be here. It's a super great group of guys. I love spending time with them. So moments in the hotel, warm up before games.
For London Saunders head coach Jamie Clark, this is a dream come come true. He's been coaching boys for more than 2 decades, and this is his first trip to OFSA. And his son is on the team.
This is so exciting for me, but it's also exciting for my players, for my son. It's awesome. So many special players come back to London, and we're a hotbed of basketball.
And Clark isn't the only first-timer. The Maple Ridge Ravens from Barrie have never qualified.
It's just something completely different from anything we've ever done before. Just a chance of, even if we don't win or anything, it's just a huge accomplishment to come here.
At the merchandise table, they were selling London-specific gear.
Being the Forest City, we want to incorporate a lot of, trees in there, and then, we have some iconic buildings, landmarks in there. So I'm really happy with the color scheme, and the merch has been selling well.
It's a big week with a lasting impact.
I remember when Andrew Wiggins came through last time when we had OFSA, basketball boomed a little bit. And I'm anticipating the same thing's going to happen. There are kids in the stands here watching all of our great players and other great players. It's going to boom again in London.
Hopefully, what it'll do is create the drive from somebody else around the city who wants to host the next one sooner than 15 years from now.
Brent Leal, CTV News.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, a boisterous reunion on Vancouver Island. More than 100 male sea lions have turned up, part of an annual fishing expedition. Andrew Johnson has more on their shared appetite, bringing them all together.
They've taken over this small beach, and the people who have come to take a closer look are thrilled.
I think it's pretty phenomenal.
Listening to that, who wouldn't be curious? What is making all that noise?
Just hanging out, talking to each other, being chubby and adorable.
They are indeed plump. Some of them can't even keep their eyes open.
These ones up here haven't moved. They're just zonked right out, and these ones are making a bunch of ruckus.
Ruckus, says one expert, is the specialty of these California sea lions.
When they arrive, it's almost like a biker gang has shown up for a convention. And sometimes they go back to the same spots, and sometimes they discover a new hangout.
This gang is here for the herring they intend to gobble up in large quantities.
They're just like sticks of butter to them. It's just full of fat. And if you're a male California sea lion, you're not watching your waist. You're actually hoping to put on as many pounds as you can, as fast as you can, because the whole goal is to get back to California looking super sexy and nice and big and able to hold a territory against other males.
Where the females who stay closer to home are waiting. Experts say the barking at the beach that's left even dogs speechless will last as long as the herring run is at its peak.
Amazing. We won the lotto. We live here.
And so will the spectacle for nature-loving Vancouver Islanders. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Deep Bay, BC.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.